is this? I need to swap the camera again, because of course I do. Welcome in, folks. I am... okay, right. Let me just get the music. Been listening to rom-com for many days now. Right, so that seems to all be fine. I just need to fix the webcam for the manyth time. Go through so many fucking submenus for this shit. It's so annoying. I still need to buy a fucking bulb for that lamp. I haven't, but I need to. Right. Oh, God, it's cold. All my fucking joints and my fingers are freezing up. Oh god, yeah, my hands are ice cold. I say welcome in, folks. I've had a pretty busy last few days. Wasn't able to stream on Friday, but I am... No, I was. It was late. That was what it was. I did stream. It was on Monday I couldn't stream because I wasn't here. I was out of town. But yeah, I'm back today. Very late starting, but my alarm went off at 10 a.m. this morning. I turned it off, and I fell asleep immediately, and woke up 3.5 hours later. Yeah, I've been playing catch up all day. I had a bunch of editing to do and some prep for a new game I'm running, so yeah, that took priority. However, I can stream for at least an hour and 20 minutes or so today. Going to try and get as much done as I can. Yeah, welcome in, people. This is where I've sort of gotten so far. We've got a race in here. Made a bunch of monsters like the Green Vise. We made the Obliviacs on Friday. That took bloody ages. That took so long. Kingdom or similar building I have suffered in this way before. Building and management. Not. I would recommend Worldographer as a method for making maps. It's not sort of adjacent to what you want. It is a finicky and very awkward to use program, but it's quite good. It makes very pretty looking hex maps. But in regards to like specifically building Kingdom Management, it depends. Do you want like something that is going to spit out, do you want a generator that's going to spit out sort of some notes that you can build a society off of? Or do you want like a map maker? Do you want something that will build you or help you build a culture? Or something that's going to do all of those things? Something that's going to do all of them, I don't think there is anything. But I know of a few tools that can do individual bits of that. Yeah, so I wouldn't bother with stuff like that. I don't know if this Kickstarter I wouldn't be able to yeah. Oh, player rules. Oh, players building kingdoms. Oh. Yeah, no, I wouldn't know of, like, there are... Oh god, do I go on this tangent? I'm not going to go on the tangent, but I am going to say that the MCDM books, Strongholds and Followers of Kingdoms of Strongholds and Followers and Kingdoms and Warfare, two different book names, do exist. They are terrible. I say that. Strongholds and Followers is terrible. I've not read Kingdoms of Warfare, and I don't particularly care to. I don't know of any... Quite possibly. I would recommend looking at the rules for Birthright 2nd edition. which is a setting for 2nd edition D&D. The rules will not be one-to-one, like you won't be able to just take them wholesale because it's for 2nd edition. Basically, rules for every edition of D&D except 4 and 5 are convoluted nonsense. So I wouldn't recommend taking it wholesale, but it could be a good source of inspiration. A lot of good notes, like just Birthright as a whole is a really cool setting. I'm a big fan of Birthright, I like it a lot. Like, fuck Dragonlance, fuck Spelljam, all the other fucking settings they've sort of jammed into 5e, to my understanding, quite poorly. I'm not so sure about Dragonlance, but Spelljam, they definitely did a bad job on Birthright. But yeah, I would recommend looking at that. Otherwise, God, do I want to recommend Matt Colville videos? They're good, but I think Matt Colville's a prick. You know what? Yeah, no. I'm gonna put my tilt aside. The Matt Colville videos on like the politics of building a kingdom are very good. Like they're really good. Can help you get into the head of the kinds of people your player is going to have to deal with. Hang on. They're also just good videos. Colville is he's less of a D&D YouTuber now. He doesn't post a huge amount of content, but he runs MCDM, which is a very big, a fairly big third-party publishing studio. The books I was talking about before, Strongholds and Followers and Kingdoms and Warfare, are by his company, and ostensibly written by him. They are bad. They are bad books. I can say Strongholds and Followers with, I've tried my damnedest to make that book work, and it doesn't. It just fucking sucks. There'll be good inspiration in them, though, but it's not really worth giving them money. They're bad books. Colville himself is a very charismatic, very well-spoken, very knowledgeable on sort of wider, very cultured in a sort of an old, in a kind of like old, well-read white dude kind of way. I say that I read that, it makes it sound like he's a racist. He's not, but there's no indication that he is, so therefore he probably is not. But his videos are quite good. They're quite long, but they're quite good. There's a lot of sort of, hang on, let me find the, season. Shut up, autoplay. Well, there we go. There's the guy. Someone has put all the politics playlists in here where he talks about the politics of like international, like medieval particularly, and a lot of like early 1920s, like international, like not like worldwide, but like, or is it intranational? Whatever, between two countries where how they deal with each other. That can be good for being like your character, or your player, wants to make a kingdom. That land is going to belong to someone. And if it doesn't belong to someone else wishes it belonged to them. Just because of the nature of power, and the nature of how kingdoms grow and expand and interact with each other, is even allied nations in a medieval society. Obviously we live in a modern world where literally, well, not literally, almost every single square foot of land that you can stand on is owned, or at least claimed to be owned, by one of the nations of the world. With the exception of like Antarctica, which is a whole can of worms in and of itself, and like some random like map anomalies. Every fucking inch of the planet is owned by someone. One country. Medieval times, whilst that's not really the case, because that makes things a lot simpler. Well, it makes things generally simpler, anyway. They want to fill the power vacuum. It makes an amount of sense. I say an amount of sense that makes sense. It's a sensible idea. But I guess the main thing to think about are who are the pretenders, who are the who is going to step up and be like, no, I am the one who should do this. I have these qualities. I should do it. Here is my army to prove my point. Like, who are those people? Who are the nearby kingdoms who say, well, these people have taken our lands, we want reparations, we're going to take this big old chunk of their land and take it for us, stuff like that. That kind of politics from their perspective having to interact with wider leaders will be interesting. Another thing that, depending on how your campaign is kind of lining out, the way you just described it, a Lich King, that sounds like an endgame goal. Oh, easily, yeah. Like, that makes complete sense. And that could be an unwinnable battle that your player will come to realize is like, if you are reasonable and sensible in your explanation and, can provide, good reasoning for the actions of like nearby nations, because nations don't act rationally, not really. They act in very specific selfish capacities for the purpose of, for like a wider kind of, not greater good, but kind of like the greater prosperity of a nation, or the pursuit of power, more or less anyway. But an alternate angle is, I don't know for sure, but it certainly sounds like a Lich King. That's like your final boss of your whole campaign. And if that is the case, you can handwave a lot of the kingdom stuff. Put it in the epilogue. Because, like, in my experience, having run a lot of campaigns, people remember the epilogue of the campaign as well, usually better than the rest of the campaign that they played in. People remember the ending to a campaign very well. But if that doesn't work and you want the campaign to carry on after this Lich King has been killed, because that's not like where you plan for it to end, then that doesn't necessarily work. But if that is, then just hand waving it, it's fine. And in the future you can use the same setting, and it's like his distant descendant or whatever is the ruler of a kingdom of currently indeterminate prosperity or something. I don't know. But yeah, I would recommend those Colville videos. They are very good. I do really need to put my tilt behind me and actually just rewatch some old Colville, because old even Colville's modern stuff is like quite good. It's just he made all of his best points really early on, and is now spends most of his time writing and publishing bad books. His novels are good. I read the first one, very good. I used to be a Colville super fan. That has since changed by my tone, I'm sure you can tell. But yeah, I know that's not like a cut and dry answer, and it is. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the apologies, I couldn't give like a cut and dry answer, but that is like that it is a very complex problem that people have spent big money trying to fix, and as like people like Colville have spent a lot of money, funded a lot of very expensive Kickstarters to make them happen, and they're just as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure they failed. What is the name of this Kickstarter? I'm interested to give it a look. I generally mistrust D&D Kickstarters because most of them are shit. I like really shit. But I'd certainly be interested to give it a look. It's the kind of thing I like as well. I like politics in D&D. I think it's cool. I think it can be really fun to sort of. It's like a unique challenge that you can't solve just by killing things. Yeah. So just drop a link in chat. I'm curious to give it a look. Thank you. What is... Let's have a look. What is this? Who is this? Dead Channel Studio. Who are you? What have you done? Eight created Kickstarters. Interesting. Why is this? Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Okay, right. I was about to say, oh, they're based in London, but no, all Kickstarters are based in London for tax purposes. There's a guy I work with who was like, why the fuck have you based your Kickstarter in London? It's like, tax reasons. It's okay, it's kind of interesting. I don't like this. Seems on the simpler side, but it's not. £9,000 in October. It's a very, very small budget, unless it's made by like one guy. A £1,000 goal. This isn't a book that costs £1,000 to make. What? That's so strange. I'm not going to question it. I'm going to go about my day. That's very odd, but yeah. Hopefully some of the stuff is at least useful that I've given you. It's not it's very it's a very like it's a systems on systems kind of thing where you need to bolt on like a whole other thing to make it happen to 5th edition that generally doesn't really gel well with 5e. Well, I say it doesn't. It struggles to gel well with 5e just because of the way 5e is, and because it's so divorced from anything else that's in it. Oh, I'm gonna cut my tongue or something. That burnt. Ow. Fuck. That hurt. Right. I'm going to get to making monsters. I'm probably not going to get a huge amount of time to make stuff today, but I'll see what I can do. Now, I want to go through and... okay, that's kind of neat. Fuck it, I'm just gonna... yeah, I'm gonna go down my list. Let's take a look at what is... that makes sense. Yeah, sure. Let's make a green water. Yes. Gotta get the old the old soul battery charged. Green water. So these things are they're basically like plant dudes made by elves to guard their land. They're like alarm system creatures, kind of deal. It is a medium plant. Do I give it the elf subtype? Sure, why not? That's cool. I like it. What do you mean by in Pokemon? Understands. What do you mean by in Pokemon? Common. Oh, right. Grass. It's grass. Understands common and elven. I can't speak. Sense. How do these things see? I would assume they can just see. Because they do actually have eyes. No. Passive percent. So these things, saving. I won't give them saves. I won't give them any vulnerabilities or resistances or anything like that. I don't think. I don't think they need anything like that. Let's give them skills. They have perception plus. Well, I won't give them any stats. Yeah, I can't do that. So 30 feet, AC 15, natural armor. Let's give them 14 strength, 17 dexterity, 13 constitution. Let's give them 7 intelligence. No, we'll go 6. Let's go 10 wisdom, and 5 charisma. They are CR 4. Oh, there we go. I couldn't see the thing I was looking for. So 4 is 1,100 experience. They have +2 proficiency, so that I will give them expertise and perception, give them +4. It sounds common and elven, but can't speak. Oh no, it's not elven, it's elvish, isn't it? Ugh. No, not evilish. Fucking Tolkien. Elven sounds better. Elvish or elfish makes me want to put a gun in my mouth. Sounds terrible. Okay, that's fun. Green water. No, that's the thing. CR calculators. Generally. I say generally, exclusively CR calculators. There's plenty of good ones online, and following the stuff just in the DMG is not a bad idea, though the math gets a little complicated. But just reading about how to do it in the DMG. Hang on. Yeah, the DMG is like the best source of good content. And anybody who says like, oh, the DMG doesn't have anything useful in it is an idiot, because or they haven't read it, or both. Because the DMG is full of like fantastic shit. You just have to know what you're looking for and know that it's in there. It's badly laid out. All the content in it is fantastic. I mean, yeah, like everybody uses it for magic items, but most people don't bother reading any of the actually really useful shit about like helping you build settings and all the cool optional rules for like madness and like helping you design monsters and spells. Yeah, creating magic items, that's a good one as well. Like the like, you don't need to literally read the DMG like cover to cover. Like, yeah, not everything in there is perfect, but chances are, if there's something you want to know how to do, there's a non-zero chance it's in the DMG. There's like a pretty high chance it's in the, and it's not in the PHB. There's a good chance it's also hidden in the PHB as well, because there's a lot of shit hidden in there. Another piece of required reading, as far as I'm concerned, is the downtime activities in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. They are game changers. True, but I imagine that book is gigantic, right? That book is probably like 700 pages and weighs like 10 pounds. There's a lot of very, very good... I mean, even so, that is probably about 700 pages, and the both the Player's Handbook and the Monster Manual over 300 pages each. I think with D&D, it is just unfeasible to fit everything in one book. I like the sort of the 3-book sets. They tried to do it with Spelljammer, but all of the books were tiny, so it didn't work at all. Just massively increased the cost of production and of the books themselves at like no benefit to anybody. It was a terrible idea. I don't know who the fuck thought it was a good idea. Yeah, I mean, I would argue that you can't run a game of D&D without the like the DMG, like you miss out on a lot of really good stuff by not using the DMG. A lot of really useful tools. Like, you can run one without it, but I think your game will suffer for it if you don't. I tell you what 5e really needs. What every RPG needs nowadays is just go digital. Just go digital and stay digital. Everybody has a phone in their pocket. Everyone, like, half your table brings a laptop to the game. Having just a website where you can build it to index all of your rules in a readable capacity. Like, yeah, the books are nice. They look good. And I'm sure you could still print them. But I don't open my books. I own them for collecting purposes and nothing more. I use online indexes, unofficial online indexes, for all of the content. They still aren't on the train because you have to use D&D Beyond, and D&D Beyond is a garbage service. It's terrible. D&D Beyond is a fucking poison. I despise D&D Beyond with every fiber of my being. Also that. Yeah. That's a whole thing. They're likely going to streamline that for 1D&D, but it doesn't really matter. Do Claw or Thorn Volley attacks. I need to give this thing actual wisdom, I realise. Let's give it +2. Spell save DC. What is the DC? So it's 10. It's just DC 12. At will. Druidcraft. Thorn Whip. Does it mean Thorn Whip? No, that's kind of a trap. I'm not going to put that there. That's fantastic. It's sadly that kind of model is just not sustainable, like, at all. Yeah, I say that, like the translation and publishing is like, yeah, but that kind of like, oh, send us a picture of you with your book and or whatever, and we'll send you a free PDF is awesome, but on a beyond his level, it's just unsustainable. Oh damn. That's a fair amount of trust, I suppose, but I guess because it could be like the kind of thing where you just sort of hold, thumbs up with a piece of paper that says your email address on it on top of your book, just so that you show that you are in frame. Like, that would be the kind of thing if I were to do that, which I probably wouldn't. I say I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Well, I can't see myself ever being in a position where I would need to do that, but I imagine I wouldn't not do it. But this probably be what I would want, is like, okay, send a picture where your arm or, your face or something is in the... Yeah, that's cool. Oh, damn, okay. Can he legally Can he legally do those translations? Because I have a feeling he probably can't. Like, no judgment at all. Like, that's kind of based. If he just does that illegally, that's very funny. But even so, that's kind of crazy. Because I know. Right. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure if he was like, just like, doing like a rogue translation of Blades in the Dark. But that is very funny. That would be very funny. Otherwise, that's just kind of cool. So this thing has confusion because it's supposed to like. Let's give it entangle. I need to give it unusual nature as well. I think I found it on drive-thru. It's called Patrol. Yeah, I think I've not heard of it before, but yeah, I googled it, Patrol Vietnam RPG, and that something came up, and it seemed to be exactly what you're describing. So, well, it said it was called Patrol RPG for Vietnam or something to that effect. That's interesting. I'm not necessarily like it sounds like a bit of a but I don't know. Yeah, that's odd more so than anything else. Let's give this thing spike growth as well. Yeah. Yes. I guess with that kind of thing, you know what you're getting into. So if you think it's like you're gonna hate it or whatever, then you just don't play it. Like there's with something like that where it's very very upfront about exactly what it contains. It's literally in the subtitle of the thing where you're like, yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to handle playing that. You can just not. Whereas a lot of other games would be like, it's not quite as clear on the surface what exactly they contain, or what the obvious. You make an RPG about Vietnam. Everyone, American or no, well, not everyone, but most people, whether they're American or not, know exactly what they're getting into. The internet is dominated by Americans, and just the world as a whole is dominated by American media, but particularly the English-speaking world anyway. Like, I grew up watching American cartoons, because the British ones were shit. I'd say that. Most of them were okay. The ones for little kids, they were actually quite good, but, like, the ones for, like, older kids, there's basically nothing for them at all. So it was all American cartoons, pretty much exclusively. And those were mostly good. Mostly. Here we go. I found a source of what this thing is actually capable of doing. Green Warden. Yeah, I know that's a common problem. It's not one I personally share. I've yet to find a system that I like anywhere near as much as I like 5e to be worth me playing less 5e to play it instead. I've played Call of Cthulhu and I hated it. I hated Call of Cthulhu so much. Like the campaign I played in, like the GM who ran it, she did a fantastic job of running it. But the system itself, basically all of us were either neutral on it or outwardly hated it. DM or the GM included. It was just not fun. Where's... I forgot to give this thing stealth. What the fuck? I've played a few like indie RPGs, and most of them were like, oh, I like this part of it, but I really hate the rest of it. Misspent Youth was my first foray into like role-playing themed RPGs, where there's not really mechanics, it's all just role-play based, and like it's just a framing device for role-play and nothing else. It turns out role-play heavy systems basically just means, oh, it's all the role-playing you do in D&D, but with like arbitrary parameters and random bullshit, and I hated it. Misspent Youth is cool, it has a great concept, and collaborative world building, easily some of the most fun I've ever had, and we weren't even playing the game, we were deciding how we were going to play the game. It was awesome. I want to do it for D&D at some point, of like collaboratively make a world with the players, and like, or at least design like the themes of a world, because that just sounds awesome. I've not really played much else since. I've not had the opportunity. I don't go out of my way to go looking for I've heard of most of these. Obviously, Pathfinder and Starfinder, Call of Cthulhu. I know that there are various Warhammer RPGs. I know of Blades in the Dark. I've heard of Tales from the Loop. I don't remember what it is. I've never heard of Aegon or Mouse Ritter. Like when you said it before, I assumed Aegon was a person. Forbidden. I've heard of Forbidden Lands, and I think I've heard of Mothership. But and I can I can guess what it's about. It's about a mothership, probably alien related, in some capacity. It might not be, but it sounds like it. Right. Okay. Right. That sentence makes total sense now. Yeah. Okay. I think I misread it or misinterpreted it as Aegon is the guy who did Blades in the Dark, and I was like, that's a cool name, or something to that effect. But yeah, the oh. Oh, itchy eye. Oh. I need the thing for this. I need a particular monster. No, it's a spell. It's Thunderous Smite. Oh no, there we go. Audible out to... It's audible out. Takes 2d6 thunder damage. Let's give this thing saving throws, why not? Ah, okay. Okay. Oh, I know where I've heard Tales of the Loot from. As a guy I know from there's the guy who runs London Tabletop Industry Network plays it. God, I need to go back there at some point, but train tickets to London are really fucking expensive. They're really pricey. I got like a rail card and shit. I bought one this year because I'm traveling around a lot, and it's not far to London for me. It's like a couple hours on the train, I think, maybe if that. Oh, nice. It's pretty decent. So Greenwater has a 15 AC. I don't think this thing feels CR2 at a push to me, you know. Like this thing is not high CR, like not CR4. This thing is just like a little guy. Like it just slashes you and screams. Like it does. It does what damage? It does 8 plus 8. Hang on, just move this out of the way. 8 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 6 divided by 2. It does about... I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was a thing. Oh wait, I gave it the wrong to hit. That should be plus 5. That's an offensive CR of about 2. So yeah, that feels good to me. And then defensive wise, could give it magic resistance. I might give it magic resistance. I need to give it condition immunities as well. That's a thing. That's very important. Can definitely be blinded. Probably can't be deafened. Probably can be frightened. That makes an amount of sense. Can't be deafened, is immune to exhaustion. That feels good to me. We'll go with that. Spell save DC 12. Yep, that's right. Need to give it a suitable amount of hit points. It has 13 con. Let's go 8. Nope. Let's go. Let's up its 4. Let's give it. Let's make it tankier. $11d8 plus 22 for a total of 71 hit points. That is a CR2 creature to me. We can certainly go on and make a bigger, scarier green. Oh, that's cool. I can probably go in and make like a bigger, scarier Green Warden, but honestly, this thing just kind of works as is. I've got some art for it as well, sort of have like some art here, fill up some lore down here, and have this stat block sort of fill up the right side of the page. It's a little small for a stat block, but I'm sure I can... I might give it some more stuff, just sort of pad out the stat block a little bit with some more exciting things. Oh, I forgot. This thing's meant to have sleep. That's like a thing. Spiel, no. Sleep. I put the consonants the wrong way around. Yeah. I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to go grab food. I'll be about 10 minutes. And when I get back, I'm going to go for another sort of 10 or 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to stop. I am very hungry. I was going to go get food before, but I keep doing this. I keep getting food way too late, and then I come back and I don't have... yeah, I know what to eat. Like 5e is not really in any other languages, to my understanding. I know, I think, I can't remember what languages it's in. Oh, 5e is in Japan now, I know that much. I know 5e is quite big in Japan. Because they translated to Japanese, but I remember there was a time where, like, D&D was, like, the biggest game in France. And then they didn't translate 5e to French for, like, a really long time. So I think, like, Call of Cthulhu is by far the most popular RPG in France, for instance. But either way, I'm going to take a break here. I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to carry on, going to make another monster, and I'm probably going to head off. People have to head off here, that's all fine. I'll be back. If people have to head off here, that's all fine. Otherwise, I'll be back shortly. See you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Right. I decided which one I'm doing next. And it is the Oaken Defender. Right. How big is this thing? It's huge. So, basically these things are defenders of Dryad groves. They're very, very big, and they're also CR12. The problem is in 3.5, they do nothing. They have no unique or interesting abilities whatsoever. They just don't. So I'm going to sing magic resistance. I think that's kind of cool. Oh, okay. I've never been a fan of spell cards, but I understand their purpose. I don't like that a lot of them have like truncated or abbreviated versions of spells on them, which can be misleading to spell effects, leading you to have to check the book anyway. Like for like Fireball, like yeah, spell card's great, but any spell that's longer than like 2 paragraphs, you just can't put on a spell card. Hmm. This thing probably can be charmed and frightened. Damage immunities. Does this thing have any special immunities? I assume probably not. No special resistances or immunities. Ignore this. Does it have any special skills? It's plus 22 to intimidate checks. Indistinguishable. No, tree stump is 2 words. That's absurdly priced. Jesus fuck. It's insane. I think it's like my biggest problem is that like a lot of WotC's money from D&D doesn't actually come from selling the books or any of the actual content. It comes from selling their like random peripherals. And it's like most of them aren't very good. Some of them are nice. Most of them are overpriced junk though. Like I don't know. I've got a lot of problems with like the way people treat 5e as a system on both ends of the spectrum. You've got the yeah. I was gonna say, like, buying multiple sets of spell cards, probably a tenner a pop, is I mean, that's 60 quid is a lot, but even so, that's not quite as um um it's seemingly a lot of the stuff that WotC is doing with 1D&D especially is trying to take full control over the IP and the brand. They want to be the sole owners, publishers, and creators of content for D&D. It is going to go badly for them, because it's what they tried to do with 4th edition. Look how that turned out. It was really bad, and it almost put the nail in an already declining hobby. And 4e did not do very well. So strength, this thing is very strong. So I'm going to give this thing probably 26 strength. So 22 is 7, 8, no, so yeah, it's, no, that's not plus 9. 6, 7, that's 8, plus 8. So this thing, regeneration. I'm always a fan of regeneration. Most likely, yeah. Hmm. Right, I need this. I need... Oh wait, no, these are spells on monsters. Vampire. Let's check vampire regeneration. No shit. Not really. It is 1D&D is very much like the difference between first edition and second edition is quite small. There's a lot of like minor changes, but the system is ostensibly the same. 1D&D has that relationship with 5e. They're trying to say it's backwards compatible. It isn't at all, but there are a lot of carry-through elements that feed into. They're trying to sort of position 1D&D as like the new and improved 5e, and in a lot of ways it is, and in a lot of ways it's way worse. So yeah, there is going to be a hell of a lot of people who just keep playing 5e. And WotC won't make any more money from those people because they won't buy 1D&D content. I won't. You know, I might buy Phandelver campaign when it comes out at the end of next year. That'll be quite possibly the last D&D 5e book, like period. It may very well may be the last one. There's no guarantee on that yet. We'll find out next summer, but there's a good chance the Phandelver book, the last 5e book, period. And I'm probably going to get a hold of it because I really like Lost Mines of Phandelver, and I would like to run a campaign like that. It sounds cool from what I understand of it. Oh, God, I need to clear my throat. 5e's final book being a retelling and expansion of its first starter adventure that's good shit. Right. So how does this thing... It's pretty common. People like the security. They like the like they like having a system that they know and can pick up and play whenever they want. Like I'm not quite in the same boat, but there's certainly a lot of systems where I look at them and I go, why would I ever play this? Like, why would I play this? 5e does all of these things. It doesn't matter, like, mechanically, if it's, you know, what things are like. I don't, like, I wouldn't ever, if someone came to me and was like, do you want to play Pathfinder 2nd Edition? I wouldn't say no, but I wouldn't have any reason to say yes either. It's like, okay, I mean, you know, like, you know, if you know, like, there's like one other person who DMs in my friend group, right? And if he turned around and said my next campaign is going to be, if he was like, my next campaign is going to be Pathfinder Second Edition or whatever, then I would probably be up for playing it. But I wouldn't necessarily, I've never played Pathfinder Second Edition. There is a good chance that I won't like it. More likely, it's a chance that I will come out the other side and go, well, I kind of, 5th edition is still my preferred system. It's a lot of people want to. Well, I say from my perspective, I invest my time into 5e. I don't want to do the thing where I play a little bit of like 9 different systems, because that just doesn't sound fun to me. That sounds kind of frustrating. Whereas like a lot of basically that thing is like the argument of like, oh, 5e players only want to play 5e is from the people who like to play like 10 different systems, because they like to do that. And a lot of people just don't want to do that. If I find a system I like half as much as 5e, then I will play the hell out of that too. But I have yet to find one, and I'm not really interested in going looking for it either. Passive perception 16. Yes. Slam. Oh shit, I can't spell. On the ground in the air, must make a DC 20 strength saving throw. Or be thrown 20 feet into the air. Yeah, that sounds bad. Before it was just like I don't know, but before it was harmless. That's kind of creepy. I would probably talk to her about that, and whether she's cool with him being kind of weird, because I wouldn't be able to tell you what the answer is. Okay, well that's good. I assume she's waiting for him to if he's going to cross a line or not. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's certainly um that like yeah. Be thrown 20 feet into the air. Thrown 20 feet into the air. Does that? I think that works. I'll just pushed 20 feet into the air. Oh. Get this thing land stride. Ah, yes. He is a simp. Which is, yeah. Sucks to be him, I guess. I was gonna add something. What the fuck was I gonna add to these things? I don't remember what it was. Assuming you're talking about OpenAI. Oh yeah. I've seen all kinds of stuff about OpenAI. I tend to not really pay much attention to that kind of stuff, to be honest. Like DALL-E was interesting. I liked DALL-E just as like just a source of comedy, honestly. But yeah, OpenAI is the kind of thing where it doesn't really interest me that much. I understand the application, but I don't have any desire to use it. Slam, upheaval. Oh, that was it. Let me look at sending. This has the tech that I want here. Yeah. Some of like the text generation stuff. When I'm talking about DALL-E, I'm not talking about using it for artwork. I'm literally just talking about it for it to show me what it looks like of, I don't know, Stalin and dressed as a milkman. You know, that's the kind of highbrow shit that I use DALL-E for. But yeah, no, 100% agree on the art stuff. But as for like the text stuff, I feel it's mostly the same, but it's a lot more noodly. Like you're training off of someone else's writing, but at the same time, like, you can train off of all manner of words. It's a little less blatantly theft, that's for sure. And I guess like some of the D&D stuff, they're just feeding them official modules as well. That's a thing. Just all the books, just feeding them the D&D books, and potentially some third-party ones as well. I don't know. Damn, yeah, that's fucking rough. Yeah. I think it does about 62 damage. I say, yeah, UK stuff, places are a lot pricier, and as is our electricity and gas prices. It all because all British gas companies have not been received any kind of windfall tax from the government, so they've made billions in profit due to during the oil shortage from Russia. So I know. Yeah. So yeah, that is that is very cheap for a place. Oh right, okay. 40 meters square. Right. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say that makes, yeah, that is, if you buy what is the term, a studio apartment is what the UK and US people try to spice up the thing of, you live in one room, they go, oh, a studio apartment. It's probably the baseline is about 400 quid, yeah, give or take. Offensive CR, we have CR 12. Oh, fantastic! I've actually hit the nail on the head, I think. Damage, stat wise, this is good stuff. It has 3 save proficiencies. Fuck it, let's give this thing damage resistance. No, let's not. It has 24, and it is huge. It is 11. $14d12 plus 7 times 14? Good question. 98. Grand total of 189 hit points. Also has regeneration as well, and the regeneration is pretty generous, so yeah. This thing is cool. It's very simple, though. I think I definitely want to try and maybe add some spicier stuff to it, but Upheaval is quite good fun. Yeah, Yeah, that sounds about right. The housing industry in basically every nation is a fucking scam. I mean, based on the way you phrased it, sounds totally legal, which is the worst part. If they were breaking the law, you would think someone would eventually do something about it, but by the sounds of things, they aren't. They're renting and not selling, which is legally a different thing as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, not I'm concerned. But yeah, I do need to head off here though, I'm afraid, because I've got some bits and pieces I need to do. I have someone who's probably expecting me a little while ago. But yeah, I'm gonna head off here. Hope folks enjoyed themselves. I may have family stuff going on Friday. I may have family stuff going on Friday, but I'm not sure. I know I have stuff going on Saturday, but the Friday stuff is up in the air. I will basically follow me on Twitter. I will there'll be a link somewhere. Hang on, I'll stick it in here. I think I'm assuming the bot decides to work. Yeah, it worked. Cool. Yeah, just follow me on Twitter if you want to know when I go live. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, people. I will hopefully see people on Friday. If not, I should be streaming next Monday. See ya.